Hey guys, this is Kenny. Today we're replacing a lower control arm on a Mercedes-Benz. So today we're going to do it the old shade tree mechanic style. And let me show you here. We've got the sun up there, we've got the shade tree, and then we've got the vehicle. So this happens to be a 1997 E320 Mercedes. Most all your Mercedes are going to be about the same, so you can use this video to change out your lower control arm, or we'll also show you how to change out a coil spring. The shock will be removed on the bottom, but let me show you here what's going on. You see this where the lower ball joint attaches to the control arm? This is a solid piece of cast steel, and it's been welded to this stamp steel lower control arm, and you can see where the fresh brake was right here and just a little bit back here, but look at this, it's all been rusted off right here. That hasn't been holding for years, so this joint and weld here has been weakened, and this car was ran off the road and caused this damage. So it didn't take much to break it, and what it did was it threw this wheel assembly rearward, and the actual tire was rubbing on the inner fender well. So I've got a new lower control arm coming, so we're going to be taking this off. One of the first steps we have to do is take these skirts and little shields off so we can get access to these nuts and bolts here that hold the control arm bushings on. Then we'll have to remove the shock, and we'll have to try to get this lower ball joint off right here. And back on this back side here we have a sway bar connector we're going to have to take off. So anyway, stay tuned and I'll get back with you. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you, this is like I said, true shade tree mechanic style right here. So I didn't want to take it into the nice shop and show everybody how nice it is to do it on a concrete floor and stuff. So my cardboard is my concrete floor, and of course that's replaceable. That's a good thing. And make sure that you chock your rear wheels, both sides, for safety. And you can see I just used some landscaping blocks. Okay guys, I've got the screws taken out. There's 4 here that hold this front skirt on here, and I believe it'll just come out. Ooh, I think I got a fastener over there. Let me go check. But anyway, make sure you got some place to put your bolts and nuts and screws and stuff. So what I'm going to use is the our old frying pan that we feed the dogs out of, and that's as good as any. So anyway, let me see what's holding it up over there. This side came loose because it's all broke out from the accident. So I'll go over there and get that screw out, and we'll drop this down. Okay guys, there was actually 3 bolts over here, fasteners holding. There's 2 right here, they were 10mm heads, and then there was one right in here at an angle, and that was a 5/16. So anyway, I took those off, and it just dropped down. Get this baby out of the way. Now, taking that one off exposes the bolt head, but we have a nut back here, so we're going to have to take this back guard off here. So let's see, there's some more, couple more 5/16 bolts. So let me get that off. And so we'll get this out of the way. Okay guys, I'm going to get this ball joint nut off here. So since I'm getting a new ball joint, I don't care what happens to that. I'll probably just beat that out get this business out of the way. While I'm down here, I'll go ahead and take this shock mounting bolt and nut off. Okay guys, right here also is a sway bar connector, and it happens to be a Torx bit wrench, or a Torx bit, and it's a T50 size. It's probably metric of some sort, but it's T50 fits it just fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the jack under here, because it feels like there's a lot of pressure on here, and raise this control arm up. And that would be a good idea anyway, so when I take the shock off and this ball joint off, that something doesn't just let loose and fly apart. We're going to need a jack anyway to lower this control arm down so this spring doesn't fly out too. So we'll just get all this under here ready. There we go. I saw that rod loosen up when you can see now. So that's safe to take off. And there's the bushing for that. I got the shock loose. This loose. Now we're going to try to get this ball joint loose. Since I'm getting a new ball joint, I don't care about those threads. So that knocked it loose. Hopefully I can do something with it. Okay guys, just when the footage was getting very exciting, my battery died. So what I was doing is I was wrestling this ball joint off of the spindle. So I've got that off now, and see if we can move this thing around. And we've got the shock loose, we've got the link loose from the stabilizer, and what we can do now is lower the jack and remove this coil spring. And there's nothing else holding this control arm. Without a jack under it, it would just fly down, and that would be dangerous. So before you do any of this work, get that jack under there. And so now we're going to lower that down, make sure nothing gets in the bind here, and then we're going to remove that coil spring. Be very careful, don't be in the path this way of that spring, just in case it wants to fly out. Just stay out of the harm's way here when you're lowering the jack. Okay, that's looking pretty good. All right. Okay, we're loose now. So I'm going to take the jack out. Sometimes there's a clip that holds the spring on the bottom and or on the top, and I don't see one here. It looks like the spring's caught right back in the back here. It's just in a bind. I'm going to get a pry bar under there and pry it loose. Okay guys, as usual, I couldn't find a tool that I wanted, so I'm going to use just a big screwdriver here and see if I can't pry that out. There you go. So you want to be careful. That was pretty dangerous. Oh, these control arm bushings were binding. So it'd probably be a good idea to loosen those up before we did that, because that's what was holding the spring pressure. And so we got a slight casualty here. So even if you're doing this work for 40 years, sometimes you you run into issues. So anyway, I'm going to take these control arm bushing bolts out and drop this arm off. So we got a new arm coming today, which is exciting. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you this assembly here. I just moved it a little bit and it fell off. Look at all that rust in there. That was actually an accident waiting to happen. It's a good thing it happened in an accident instead of just driving down the road. So anyway, I guess it must be an issue with Mercedes, because I haven't ever seen anything like it before. So if you own a Mercedes, I would definitely get down and look at your lower control arm where your ball joint mount is welded to the actual arm. Make sure that that's all looks good. So I mean, even from the outside you could have seen that. So take a look at that, get those changed out. Okay guys, I'm loosening up these control arm bolts. I've got this one loose. I just loosened this one up, so let's see if the arm itself releases just by loosening up the bolts. There you go. See, I should have done that to begin with, and then I wouldn't have had an issue with the spring coming out. So everybody watch and make sure that you at least loosen these bolts up before, don't remove them, but loosen them up before you attempt to take this spring out, and so you won't have a cut and a big bruise. So even as safe as I like to think I am, I screw up sometimes too. So just learn from my mistake here, guys. Okay guys, before you remove your control arm bolts and take that off, make note of where this washer is, because these bolts have two positions and this washer determines that. So make a note, and you can also see kind of an impression if you take the bolt off, but you can make a note or a mark right here on both sides. There's a washer on the head side and the nut side back here on both bolts, front and back. So make note of that, so that bolt gets back in the same factory position as you took it off. So anyway, I'm going to take this off and I'm going to show you how that works. Okay guys, I'm just getting these bolts out here. Okay. There we go. And there you have it. Man, that thing only weighs like 10 pounds. Okay guys, I got the control arm off, and you can see there's a groove down here on this bolt, and there's a groove up here underneath the head, and this bolt will go in. It's got one position this way, and then if you turn it 180 degrees, it's got a position this way. So this bolt, those grooves line up with these little notches, and the bolt can either shift to the inside of the car or the outside of the car, and that changes your whole geometry of your control arm. So and this washer here determines that. So on the back side you can see it has a little dog right here, and it will fit either this way to hold that bolt toward the center of the car, and if you turn it this way, it holds the bolt to the outside of the car. So all you have to do is remember or mark where this flat part of this washer is. It either is pointing to the inside or outside, and do that on all 4 washers, and then you'll be good to go to put it all back just like it was from the factory. So do that before you pull it apart. And if you do happen to pull it apart without marking the orientation of this washer, you can actually see an impression there. Once I got it off, you can see an impression, and that'll tell you too. And if you don't have an impression, like if this is all cleaned up, you could actually shoot a little bit of white paint over it before you even pull it apart, and then that would leave a shadow and show you right where that flat is. Hey guys, guess what came in the mail? That was some pretty quick delivery. I haven't opened it yet. I'm hoping the parts match up perfectly. What's incredible about this is I ordered these parts from A1 Auto off of eBay, and I ordered them Wednesday about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This is Friday about 2:30, and the parts are here, and they're all the way from Massachusetts. I don't know how they did it, but that's some good service there. So let's see if it's what I need. Got some nice pillows here. Can reuse those. And I ordered the control arm from them and the new lower ball joint. That looks like it. Okay guys, I've got it unwrapped and set next to the old one, and it looks identical in every way. Yeah, everything looks just fine. Compare the weight of them here. Man, they feel the same too. Oh, and something else I want to show you. See if this one's got it. Yep. See on the bottom here, there's a weep hole. The weep hole on my old one, you can see it right there. It was all rusted up. So I went under the other side, and that weep hole's open. So you Mercedes owners, get under your cars and make sure your weep holes are open, because water gets in this arm here and it runs down here to the lowest part and it just sets there. So there's a weep hole there for a reason. Make sure it's clean, and that could keep you from having issues down the road. So the real test is, we'll see if it fits back in there. Hey guys, before I go any further, I checked at my local parts store, Napa and O'Reilly, and they wanted around $375 to $400 for this control arm. So, and they were aftermarket too. I mean, the only place you can get Mercedes really is at Mercedes, and this is probably $600 to $800 at Mercedes. But anyway, so I got online on eBay, and this one was $84 free shipping, and I bought the ball joint from the same company for $30, so they put it all in one package for me, and that's a lot of savings. So anyway, just you might give these this A1 Auto some of your business, because man, they're taking care of me. Okay guys, let's see if this baby fits in there. it looks pretty good. I'll wrestle this around some more. There that one goes. And there that one goes. So I'm going to spin these washers around like I showed you and get these into place. Okay guys, I've just got these bolts snugged up. I made sure all the washers are in the right orientation, but I don't want to really get these bolts tight because I want this arm to move freely. That looks good. Alright guys, you really want to tighten this ball joint up really tight. It's got a nylon locking nut that helps. There's no cotter pin in there. We're going to put the spring in place and then raise this up with the jack and connect the shock to it and connect the ball joint. Okay, let's get this baby up in place here. As you remember, it came out pretty violently. There we go. It should be about right. We've got a spring pocket right down here. You can see the stop, and that's lined up with this one. So I'm going to get the jack under it now. Make sure you stay out of harm's way again when you're jacking this up, just in case something flies out of there. Okay. Make sure nothing's binding here. There we go. Get this shock nut on here. Got a flat washer and a lock nut. So get the ball joint in, but it can be done. So I'm ready to tighten it up. I'm ready to tighten the shock nut up, and I'm ready to tighten this link bolt up. Okay guys, the last thing we're going to do is tighten up these control arm bushing bolts. There's one here and one back here. I'm going to put the suspension under a load. What we want to do though is jack this up until it wants to come off there, and so it'd be the same basically as it's sitting on the ground with the wheel on it. So that's what we're going to do. Vehicle just came off of that. So we're loose here. Now we can tighten these bushings up, and they'll be kind of in the center, and so they can pivot on the bushing. They don't actually pivot on the bolt, but they pivot basically the rubber moves like this. And so if we would have tightened it up way down here, we would have really put a lot of tension on that rubber, bringing it up here. Okay, we are good to put the shields up underneath here. There's two of those, and put the wheel on, and we're ready to rock and roll. Hey guys, thanks for watching my videos, and Please like and subscribe. Take care. Bye.